So, good morning everyone. It was long since last time. We have met before. Some of you were there about 3 weeks back, so we are back again. We have discussed initially about basic ECGs, paper, ECG paper, some calibrations, and location of the leads onto the human body. And then we have discussed after that about what we need to interpret when we see an ECG strip. And we have started by, anyone can remember, rate and rhythm. How to calculate the rate, and you need to identify if the rhythm is regular or not. Today we are going to speak about the axis and about the voltage of the ECG. So I'll start by the voltage. What means the voltage? And how we can assess the voltage. As we agreed before about the ECG strips, and horizontally we assess the time, and vertically we assess the voltage and amplitude of each cardiac activity. So we usually, to determine if the ECG is normal voltage or low voltage, we need to calculate the QRS complex amplitude in particular leads. So some definitions are there. So the sum of the amplitudes of the QRS complex in lead 1 and 2 and 3, which we call it the bipolar limb leads, the sum of them, or whole amplitude, it means R plus S, whatever is there, whole amplitude, if the sum of all the 3 leads are less than 15 small square, so it means it is low voltage. And if they are 15 or above, it means they are normal voltage. So amplitude is okay. Other criteria to think about as well is the same leads if all of them less than 1 big square. It means lead 1, lead 2, lead 3, all of them, and each of them less than 5, not the sum, each of them less than 5 small square, it is low amplitude ECG. Is that okay? Another criteria is the chest leads. Chest leads are V1 to V6, which is actually the most nearest lead to the heart, and it actually record direct the heart, not like other limb leads. So we expect high voltage a bit than limb leads, isn't it? So another setup is that the cut point is 2 big square or 10 small squares, the whole amplitude. If they are smaller than this, it means low voltage, and if they are higher, so it is not low voltage, it is normal voltage. Some other ECGs can see really high voltage, and from there we can diagnose either left or right ventricular hypertrophy. I'm not going to percuss over that now. I will postpone it to the QRS complex time, it will come later. So it is a simple example of the low voltage, and you can see that in lead 1, 2, and 3 there. Can just put the rules down there. Each one is less than 5 small square. Simultaneously, the sum of them are also less than 15. Is there any difference between these two statements? Any difference between the statements? So each one of them is supposed to be less than 5, or the sum of them less than 15, because basically it sounds the same, isn't it? But they're not the same, because you can find one of the leads more than 5. But at the end, the sum of the 3 leads less than 15 still. Have you got it? So it is a criteria, it is another criteria. The other criteria is the amplitude over there. All of them must be less than 10. See? Less. The only exemption was that lead, which for other purposes is high. I don't like to speak about that diagnosis because we are going to speak about this diagnosis later. So I don't like to confuse the issue. So it was high for another reason. Okay? So what is the significance of having this diagnosis, low voltage or high voltage? What significance? What I'm looking for? What causes, I will just rephrase it. What can be the causes which can lead to low voltage ECG? Can anyone intervene?
I only know one, which is increased body mass.
Okay, obesity. Or morbid obesity, which makes them, leads and things more distant from the heart, especially chest leads. Sounds good? I give already a clue about the distance between the leads and the heart. So what else can be? Pericardial effusion. What else? Same idea. Do you like pneumothorax?
Oh yeah.
Do you like emphysema?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You don't need to read. Just understand. Okay. So anything makes the heart away from the leads, it can give a cause of low amplitude. Emphysema, poly, blah, blah, blah.
So if you've got like a developing pericardial effusion, you should see the amplitudes get lower and lower as the pericardial effusion gets bigger.
Okay, tricky question. I think we have discussed that before.
Okay.
One of the most characteristic ECG features of pericardial effusion is to have alternance. We call it electrical alternance, which is one small, one bigger. One small, one bigger. It's characteristic of pericardial effusion or tamponade, and also it's characteristic of some people of heart failure, because weak muscles and some strong muscles. If strong muscles works alone, so low amplitude. If the strong muscle works with the weak one, more stronger amplitude. Theoretically valid?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but it is more genuine to the pericardial effusion, the pulsus alternans. It is out of the scope at that point.
Okay.
But yes, it gives a low voltage. Okay. But another characteristic to diagnose it is fusion or something else is the pulsus alternans, which is one high, one low in amplitude alternatively. It is another criteria. But it is not actually diagnostic in ECG to look at the lower voltage. Oh, this patient might have pneumothorax. It doesn't work this way. That's why it is of low significance. It's something to observe why he is having low voltage. Then you can look after, you can see, look for what's going on. But it is not diagnostic for any of them.
So a lot of COPD patients will have this because of their emphysema and things.
Theoretically, yes.
Okay.
Unless he is slim, most of them, then he can show a normal voltage. Okay? Good. Axis. What's axis? Heart is here. Okay? Do you remember the boring first lecture? Okay. Here is EVR. Lead one comes here. It's not here physically, but record the heart from this side. AVL record from that side. Lead 2 record from that side. AVF like the stomach view. And lead 3 is just at the base, but a bit to the right side. This is how you see the axis. The heart. So the axis means not the heart, how the heart moves or moving inside. No, it is the global electricity or electrical activity, where it goes. We can determine if we know lead 1 is there, and lead AVF is there, lead 3 is there, lead 2 is there. So by looking at these leads, we can understand what is the axis of the current ECG. I will explain more. What does it mean? This is only not the heart position, it's only the major direction of the overall electrical activity of the heart. So direction goes that way, or that way, or that way. Make sense?
Yeah, no,
Make sense? Yeah. So it is just simple diagram to understand. To be honest with you, there is a way that you can calculate the axis in degrees. It's out of the scope of the session today, but I need from you to know how it's normal axis, or right axis, or left axis, or indeterminate axis. Okay. Heart lies here. Especially left ventricle goes to that. I'm standing here. Okay. So it's the left side of the patient. So normally left ventricle falls here, and the other heart part falls that side. So if the major direction of the overall electricity of the activity of the heart goes to that side, it's normal axis, which we and me and you and everyone here has it. So if the major directions goes in that quadrant, it is left axis. Why it is left axis? Left, right. Move it like clock. So left axis going to the right axis, and here if it came to that one, we call it indeterminate axis. Some people they call it extreme axis deviation, or indeterminate means they don't know what it is. Okay. Normally, suppose the axis between -30 and plus 90. just put in mind. It's not significant for me to diagnose it. I'll make it simple, but just to work it. Who is recording here? Which leads? Record that.
That was AV.
F.
AVF.
Okay. And what records here?
3.
What's recording here? At
2.
60 degrees. 2. 1.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, 1 is here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here is AVF.
Mm-hmm.
1 is here. Good. With normal access, I can see 1 and AVF.
Mm-hmm.
Some people speak about lead 3. And from these 2 leads, I can determine. Because usually, if the direction is here,
Mm-hmm.
the complex of that one, of lead 1 and lead AVF, obviously will be
Positive.
why?
Because it's coming towards.
Yes,
its
because the
leads.
direction, that's why the first lecture was important to understand. Because the major electrical impulses comes towards the leads recording.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes towards, and so both of them are expected to be positive.
Yeah.
Lead 2 will be
Positive.
fair enough, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If it comes here,
Mm-hmm.
now the electrical activity goes that way. What AVF supposed to show?
It'll be negative.
Absolutely, because it's showing in the electricity goes away from the lead, as we agreed. Any electricity goes towards the lead is positive.
Mm-hmm.
Away from the lead, it is called a negative beat or a little bit whatever
Mm-hmm.
wave. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it is here. Lead 1 is right there. Shall it be negative?
No, it'll be
No.
positive.
So it will be a positive one. Lead 2.
Negative.
Negative. Absolutely. Why? I will need it later. I will need it later. So, in left axis deviation, simply I can understand AVF is negative. Lead 3 will be negative.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Lead 2 will be negative.
Mm-hmm.
Lead 1 will be positive.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right axis. If the global direction of the electricity goes to that area, what do you expect? AVF,
Positive.
positive.
Mm-hmm.
Lead 1,
Negative.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Lead 2, yes. So positive, equal, whatever.
Mm.
Whatever. But positive and negative. Indeterminate axis. What do you think?
Well, they'll all be mental.
Okay. So lead AVF and lead 3. AVF and lead 3,
Negative.
negative. Lead 1,
Negative.
yeah. So both of them are negative.
Mm.
And we call it indeterminate axis, and it is not in practice. We see it sometimes in VTAX,
Mm.
MI, because MI can make everything upside down. It can show an extreme axis deviation or indeterminate axis. Arrhythmias can show that, but not usually we see it in normal ECGs. Except if we have reversive limb leads or something done with the leads. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
You have understood the basic. Have you understood? Can you see it?
Yeah.
You will have to be there. For you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that okay? Can I go through that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next. Again, axis. So just make it quick. I'm not going to stop in that because I have explained the idea. So normal one, if both are positive, lead 1 and lead AVF positive, and we now understand why and how it came.
Mm-hmm.
So it is normal axis. Okay. So lead 1 negative, AVF positive, right axis deviation. Okay. If lead 1 is positive, AVF is negative, we are going to look for lead 2 because we agreed lead 2 must be negative, and I told you I will need it later.
Mm.
So if lead 2 is negative, we are speaking about left axis deviation. But if it is positive, it is normal variant. It means the negativity of AVF is normal, which sometimes we can see as a normal variation of ECGs. Have you got it?
Mm.
I will make it more easy.
So we look for 1 and then AVF, and then if we see left axis, we confirm it with lead 2.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You got the point. Absolutely. extreme axis or indeterminate axis, both of them are negative, and we can see it, as I told you, in some arrhythmias and in MI sometimes. Make it easy. This is some way of scientific explanation. I make you to understand as a doctor and as a staff nurse and as healthcare provider. And going beyond this is not in our school, but something to run behind. I might go for it later in other specific lecture to determine exactly how much is the axis, how to calculate it. I'm not going to speak about that now, but I'm going to make it more simple. Even non-medical staff, when he holds the ECG, he will tell you it is left or right. That's right. Okay. If you love or like someone, you are going to be looking at him or giving his ear back. Looking at him.
Looking at them, yeah.
So lead one and the AVF. If they fall in love, they're in the right way, that's axis deviation. Okay? If both of them they dislike each other, so they're going
They're leaving each other.
leaving each other, it is left axis deviation. Is that okay? Up is normal. We have to look up to the future. Down is something is wrong. Means indeterminate. Goes down. Is that does it make it easier?
Yeah.
Okay. An examples. You will need to interpret. I'm not going to tell. What is the axis here? Left axis. So positive, both are negative as well. Lead 2 is negative. Good. It's okay for you. What's the axis here? Right axis. So they like each other. They are in the right way. Okay? Even lead 3 is up. Yes, what's up?
Where are the leads?
Leave it. I need to see the axis only. You are here for the axis.
Oh,
Extreme axis, indeterminate axis, or extreme axis. Both of them are down, negative. MI can do this.
that's a big one.
Yeah, big one. Yeah. MI can do this. See? Okay, good. Axis. Normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So positive lead 1, positive EVF, positive lead 3. That's fine. Is that okay? Here.
Who's left?
They like or don't like each other. Positive and negative, even lead 3 is negative. So they are leaving each other, it means? Huh?
Left.
Sure. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Have a look. If we see them, they dislike each other, what we have to check? Okay, thank you.
Oh, I forgot. I was looking at lead 3.
Lead 2 is positive right here, and absolutely there is no single deflection down. It is clearly positive one. So it is normal variant. Sometimes we can find a negative lead 3 and AVF even in ischemia we can find it, isn't it? Good. So that's the thing you need to bottom mind. Any question to that level? Sorry. Any question? It was clear one. It was very clear. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's more. Oh no, we can help.
Thank you very much. And